Welcome back to Grammar Grade 12. This is Unit 4, Lesson 24, and today we learn a skill that sounds almost too simple. Count the main clauses and you can name the sentence. That's really the whole game. A sentence with one main clause is simple. A sentence with two or more is compound. Once you can spot a main clause and count it, a lot of the mystery around sentence structure just falls away. Let's dig in. Before we count anything, we need to know what we're counting. A main clause is a group of words with a subject and a predicate that could stand on its own as a complete sentence. Take, the pianist rehearsed until midnight. The pianist is the subject, who we're talking about. Rehearsed until midnight is the predicate, what she did. Put them together and the words could stand alone, ending in a period, perfectly complete. That, right there, is one main clause. Hold on to that idea, because everything today is just counting these. Now the easy one. A simple sentence has exactly one main clause, one subject and one predicate that together make a complete thought. The violinist tuned her strings. One subject, one verb, done. But here's the part students miss. A simple sentence can still be pretty full. Look at Rihanna and Diego painted the mural. That has two people in the subject, but it's still one main clause, one predicate they share. A compound subject, or even a compound verb, does not make the sentence compound. It's still just one clause. Now the star of the lesson. A compound sentence has two or more main clauses joined together. Look at this. The storm knocked out the power, but the choir kept singing. Cover up the word but for a second. The storm knocked out the power. That could stand alone. The choir kept singing. That could stand alone too. Two complete sentences, each with its own subject and predicate, joined into a single larger sentence. See the bracket? It's marking two full main clauses living under one roof. That's what makes a sentence compound. So how do we actually join two main clauses? English gives you three legal ways. First, and most common, a comma followed by a coordinating conjunction, and, but, or, nor, for, so, or yet. The library closed early, so we studied at the diner. Second, a semicolon all by itself, with no conjunction at all. The library closed early, we studied at the diner. Third, a semicolon, then a conjunctive adverb, like however or therefore, then a comma. The library closed early, however, we studied at the diner. Same two clauses every time, just three different ways to tie the knot. Here's the trap that catches almost everyone. Look at Nadia stretched and sprinted the last lap. There's an and in there, so it feels compound, but it isn't. There's only one subject, Nadia, doing two things. That's a compound predicate inside one simple sentence. Now compare. Nadia stretched and Diego sprinted. Two subjects, two clauses. That one really is compound. So here's the test that never fails. Cover the joining word with your finger and ask, can both sides stand completely alone? If the right side has no subject of its own, it's a compound predicate, and the sentence stays simple. Let's boil it into a quick check you can run on any sentence. 1. Find every subject and verb pair in the sentence. 2. When you hit a joining word, an and, a but, a semicolon, cover it and ask whether both sides can stand completely alone. 3. If you end up with one main clause, it's simple. If you end up with two or more, it's compound. That's it. Count the main clauses and the sentence names itself. Ready to try a few together? In this first set, I'll show you a full sentence and you decide. Is it simple with one main clause or compound with two? Pause the video and choose before I reveal each answer. The lighthouse dimmed and the harbor fell dark. Cover the and. The lighthouse dimmed stands alone. The harbor fell dark stands alone. Two subjects, two clauses, joined by comma and. So this one is compound. The whole orchestra bowed and left the stage. There's an and, so watch out. But cover it. Bowed has a subject, and left the stage has no subject of its own. It's one orchestra doing two things, a compound predicate. So this sentence is simple. Marisol finished the essay. She still felt uneasy. Here, there's no conjunction at all, just a semicolon. But look, Marisol finished the essay stands alone, and she still felt uneasy stands alone. A semicolon joining two full clauses makes this compound. Now we sharpen the trap. Each sentence has a joining word in it. Decide, is it truly a compound sentence with two clauses, or just a compound predicate inside a simple sentence? Pause and choose before I answer. Theo edited the film, but the studio rejected it. Cover the but. Theo edited the film stands alone. The studio rejected it stands alone. Two different subjects, two full clauses. So this is a compound sentence. The reporter gathered the facts but doubted the source. Cover the but. Gathered the facts has a subject, the reporter, but doubted the source has no subject of its own. It's one reporter doing two things. So this is a compound predicate, and the sentence stays simple. The debate ran long. However, both teams stayed sharp. There's the third pattern, a semicolon, then however, then a comma. The debate ran long stands alone. Both teams stayed sharp stands alone. Two full clauses joined that way make this a compound sentence. Let's gather up what we learned. First, the simple sentence has exactly one main clause, and it stays simple even when the subject or the predicate is compound. Second, the compound sentence has two or more main clauses, each one able to stand alone as its own sentence. And third, you join those clauses three ways: a comma plus a conjunction, a semicolon by itself, or a semicolon plus a conjunctive adverb and a comma. And always remember the test. Cover the joining word and check whether both sides can stand alone. In our next lesson, Lesson 25, we'll go further into complex and compound complex sentences. I'll see you there.